Hey boys and girls, it's Miss McGowan. In phonics today, we are going to learn 2 new contractions. Before we get into that though, let's review from yesterday what a contraction is. So if we remember, contractions are a short way to say 2 words. When we want to write them the short way, we take 2 words and we put them together and make 1 word out of them. Okay, so let's really quickly review the contraction that we went over yesterday, okay? You remember we wrote out do not. Okay, so those are my 2 words. But say I don't want to say do not. Maybe I want to say in the short way. So I'm going to take this word and this word, I'm going to smush them together, and they are going to become what? What's the word? Don't. Remember? So let's review really quick how we write don't. Okay, so remember we write the same word, the first word the same way. We're smushing it together so the N comes over, and then look what falls out, the O. So remember the apostrophe, this little thingy right here, it's a long word to say apostrophe. It holds the place of the letter that falls out. So we don't hear the ah in don't, we just hear the, don't. So that's what the apostrophe is there for. The letter falls out, and then we put the T there. So that was the contraction we learned yesterday. We learned words with not in them. Okay? Today we're going to learn 2 new ones. Now this first one is pretty easy because I think this is the only word that has it in there. So say I'm going to write out these 2 words. I am. Okay? Remember this chunk from kindergarten? Am. Okay, so I am. So let's say I want to say it the short way, all right? So watch me what I'm going to do. I'm going to write out this first word just like normal, okay? Apostrophe, and guess what falls out? The A. And then I'm going to put the M. So now the word is not I am anymore. It becomes I'm. So the contraction for I am is I'm. Now this is one of the only words that has am, so we really just need to remember this word, okay? So I am, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into another contraction, okay? Now there are a lot more words that have this contraction with it. So let's look at these 2 words. So I'm going to spell them out the long way. She. Can you? Yeah, I'm making sure y'all can see it. Sometimes I go off. Okay, so here it is. She will. Okay, so we're going to take she, and we're going to take will, and we're going to smush them together, and we're going to make a contraction word. So the contraction word, let's write it out first. Okay, so let's remember our steps. We always write out the first word. So we'll write out she, but now we're going to take out the W and the I, and we're going to put the apostrophe there to hold their place. And then we're going to put the LL. So she will becomes she'll. And we take out this WI because whenever we say the word she'll, do you hear what right here? Do you hear that one? She'll. So there's no point for it to be there. So that's why this apostrophe is kind of holding its place. We don't hear it, so it's not there. She'll. Okay? So now that we have learned that, I'm going to write some more words on the board, and we're going to review what we just learned, okay? I'm not going to tell you what the word is yet. You could be practicing them in your head if you want. Okay, so remember, we are learning contractions with the word will. So, let's review really quick. What are all these words called? These are the short way to write words, and they're called contractions, remember? Okay, so let's review another one. What is this little thingy called? It's called an apostrophe, right? And what does it do? Remember what he does? he holds the place of the letters that fell out. Now, remember, we're doing contractions with the word will. So what do you notice is the same in all three of these words? Look at the ending of it. They all have this. Now remember, this used to be will. Remember? Will. So this is the word it'll. Okay? It used to be, let's think, it. And remember, this used to be will. So it's it will. It will becomes it'll. Okay? Unless, well, I'm going to, just so you can see it, I'll spell out it will. Let me make sure that you can still see it. Okay, you can. Okay, so look at it. Look what I did. It will. Okay. Write the first word the same way. It. And then remember, the W and the I falls out of that. The apostrophe takes its place, and then we just put the LL. We're smushing them together. Okay, so it will becomes it'll. Now let's look at this word. This is the word wheel. Wheel. Not like a wheel on a car or anything like that. That's spelled differently. This is wheel. Okay, so remember, this used to be what word? Wheel, remember? So wheel is actually the contraction word for these two words. We will. Okay, so we will becomes will when we want to write it the short way. So we write out the first word, right? We write out we, and then we take away the W and the I, right, when we're pushing them together, and the apostrophe goes in its place, and then we just put the LL. Will. Same thing as we will. Okay, now you try to think. This is the word Yule. 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 So what do you think two words make up that contraction? It will be you and will. So you will, the short way is you'll. Remember, we write out the whole word, the whole first word, and then we're taking out the W and the I because we don't hear it when we say you'll. We don't hear the w, I, and will. We just hear the LL part. So the apostrophe holds the place of these two letters that fell out, and then we put LL on the end. So we're smushing them together, and it becomes you'll. Okay? Let's look at a few more. Let's look at just a few more. Okay, so we did it will, well, we did it'll, we did wheel, we did you'll, and we did she'll. Let's look at this word. Let's look at this contraction word. There's my apostrophe. So what do you think? This is the word heel. Heel. What do you think two words made up heel? Let's think in our brains. What is this? What was this word we were learning? This was the word wheel, remember? So the long way, it would be he will. So the contraction for he will is heel. Heel. And remember, when we're writing it out, we write out the first word, see here? And then we take out the W and the I, and the apostrophe takes their place, and then we just add the ending LL to it. Heel. He will is the same as heel. Okay, let's look at another one. Let's look at this word. All right. This is the contraction word aisle. Aisle. So what two words do you think are the same? Remember, we're using this because it means the same as. What two words are the same as aisle? It would be I and will. I will. Let me redo this I. It looks a little weird. Okay, so I will is the same as I'll. It's a short way to say it. So remember, when we're writing our contraction, we write out the first word, I, and then we're taking off the W and the I because we don't hear it, and we're putting the contraction there, and then it'll be LL. I'll is the same as I will. Let's look at one more. Okay, now this word might be a little unfamiliar to you, but you should know it because it was a sight word, I think, a couple of weeks ago. This is the word who, who'll, who'll. So what two words are going to make up who'll? Let me scoot it over a little bit. The two words are going to be, you know what? Let me rewrite this. I need to scoot it over. I'm going to run out of room. So who'll, what two words are going to be who'll? It's going to be who, and it will be the word will. Who will is the long way of saying who'll. This is the contraction word for who will. Who'll. It's the same as who will. So we write out the first word, who. We take out the W and the I, and we replace it with the apostrophe, and we put LL, who'll. Okay, so what you're going to go do is you're going to make some words. You're going to go make some words with your tiles. I want you to remember that we are working with will, okay? So remember, we're taking that off. We're taking those two letters off while you're making your words.